Welcome to the Shaw Consulting 3-Question Podcast, where we delve into cutting-edge technologies transforming social housing. In each episode, we explore 3 key questions about a technology set to revolutionise the way our organisations function. Today, we're focusing on the use of robotics in social housing. Joining us is Shaw MD Chris Shaw. Great to have you here, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, happy to be here.
So let's dive in then with our first question of the 3. In the context of social housing, how would you define the role of robotics?
So robotics has been around for some time now, and in its basic form, it's all about automating repetitive, high-volume, rules-based tasks. These tasks could be like data entry, form processing, report generation, and the robotic process automation tools, or robots. These just work tirelessly and complete tasks much faster than humans. And for organizations, that translates to a quicker turnaround time for tasks. In a housing context, this could be down to doing rent calculations, processing applications, streamlining maintenance requests, repairs requests. All these types of things could be processed more efficiently with robots.
Sounds intriguing. Let's then look into the second question. What kind of impact might robotics have on the social housing sector?
I think many housing providers may already be realizing some of that impact. Some of the software systems that they could be using, like asset management compliance. There are some systems out there that are using a combination of robotics and AI to know where a certificate has passed. And if it has, then take that certificate and file it in the correct place against a property and asset. If it's failed, capturing from the certificate, why, what remedial work is needed, and then creating a job with that information in the business to go out and do something about it. So, it is in use. The real benefit of using robotics in social housing or any other sector is that it reduces errors. These robots, follow defined instructions. They don't get tired of doing it. It minimizes the errors that can occur, from manual data entry, which, we find that that's happening still on a day-to-day basis. And, it's not happening once. They're inputting this manual data into many different systems. So there's a real job there for robots to improve the way that the accuracy of information is put into systems, whether that's, financial records, tenant information, or any other crucial data sets. I think the other thing is, just another example is around ensuring and enhancing compliance. Organizations, particularly in housing, you've got some strict regulations that you need to comply with. And, the robotic process automation tools and these robots can ensure that these tasks are completed consistently and in accordance with those compliance standards.
Okay, so third and final question. At present then, how relevant and practical is the application of robotics technology in social housing, do you think?
I think it's relevant and it's got a practical application across most functions within social housing. Whether it's compliance, like we've mentioned earlier, whether it's being used in finance to automate invoice processing, or even in HR, just improving the onboarding processes. And a simple example there could be using the system to be able to offer out a range of appointments, book that appointment, and send out any relevant information to the new person who's being onboarded, without any manual intervention. The systems can enable you to do that. So for me, I think, social housing providers should, consider how robots and a robotic automation platform can be used, to streamline and automate, many of their other repetitive tasks. Don't rely on the system providers to provide that functionality in their systems. If they don't have it, there are dedicated platforms that you can buy that you can then use to build your own process automations using robots. And it's not necessarily just building one robot. You can have one robot designed to do a specific task, and then another robot taking the outcome of those tasks and doing something else with it. So we daisy chaining robots.
Fascinating stuff. Thanks, Chris. And that wraps up our conversation on robotics within the social housing sector. A big thanks to Chris for sharing such invaluable perspectives on the subject today. To our listeners, we appreciate you tuning in, and we hope this discussion has offered some new viewpoints for you to consider. Remember to stay curious and join us next time for more interesting discussions on transformative technology in the social housing sector.